And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew. Hope you took that moment to stretch your roaches, massage your marines, recline your reapers, because that TvT was insane. It was intense, and it's now over. And again, the Korean TvTs are still the bane of Clem's TvT, I guess. Like he has historically struggled against players like Byun and Maru and Gumiho and Kyor. Just because of how aggressive and how active and how wild Korean TvT can be. And alas, that is still something that Clem is going to be working on. For now, though, he's knocked down to the lower bracket. Do we have an update, actually, as to who he's going to be facing? One moment. Okay, so in that lower bracket, Clem is going to be facing the winner of Hero and Maru. Oh. So it could be another Korean TvT for Clem. Smooch. So we'll look forward to that later on in the week. I believe we're going to be casting that tomorrow. Whether it's Maru or Hero, we'll see. For now, though, we do have a TVP before us. We have a Kyor versus MaxPax, and this is going to be an interesting one. Kyor arguably has the best TVP in the world. Better than Byun, better than Clem, better than Maru. A lot of people look to Kyor for guidance in TVP, so this is an ideal scenario here for Kyor. As he's up against, to be fair, the best Protoss player in Europe, one of the best Protosses in the world. Of course, you know, you can make arguments for like MaxPax or Hero, depending on the weekend, depending on the tournament. They are both, of course, the best of their respective regions, and essentially that you can't really get better. You can't get any better here for Kyor, or when it comes to a Protoss opponent for Kyor. So we'll see what MaxPax can bring to the table. What I can say with confidence is that MaxPax, I would say, has the best full-gate Blink Stalker in the world. Very fond of it. Very powerful with it. And here we go. In the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the Danish Protoss player for Psystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Oh, looking very serious today. Usually we have like a joyful smile, but not tonight. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Kyor. Here we go. Kyor versus MaxPax. Something that we get from time to time in the ESL American Open tournaments, but Kyor already kicking things off here with some aggression. Is going to be a proxy Rax, only a singular one. This is for Reapers, of course. This SCV is going to move forward as well, and if it can go unscattered, the SCV is going to be throwing down a bunker at that low ground expansion. So we'll see if Kyor can go by unnoticed. Again, this is not the most committed proxy. It's only one Rax. He should be throwing down additional production and expanding back at home. It's just a way to get some early game damage done. A way to get an early lead. For now, though, MaxPax is going for a probe scout, and he will be coming across the lack of Rax, and he's going to be looking for it. Now, the advantage here for Kyor is that it is very common to have the Rax elsewhere, whether it's further back in your main, in your natural, at the third base location. That is why MaxPax, he's even checking further back in the main base, because it is very common for the Terran player to just hide the Rax without really proxying it. So MaxPax, he's just trying to confirm, trying to make sure that it is indeed across the map, and he's going to be playing it out safely. We have a Zealot on the way. Now, Kyor, he's going to slip by that probe. He slips by the natural, and we were talking about the bunker. There it is. The bunker is on the way to help facilitate for this Reaper to do damage. Thankfully, MaxPax made the Zealot, so the Zealot comes out in time, and the Zealot should deny the bunker. Meanwhile, the Reaper gets into the main base, almost gets a probe. Boys are being forced off the line, and it looks like at least one probe is going to go down. Can we get a second? And can we get a third from there? Oh, second probe falls as well. Meanwhile, it looks like we did get a cancel on the bunker. Not a kill with that unit's lost tab. We just saw that it was not a kill, at least. So MaxPax is able to deal with the bunker, and back at home, Kyor is expanding in his main. Meanwhile, Kyor, he's racing back home to make sure that that Zealot doesn't get out of hand. And MaxPax is even sending his first Stalker across the map as well. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. MaxPax is going for a Stargate opener. So this should be for Phoenixes, but it could be Oracle into a Twilight Council. There is that possibility. Here he makes some safety Widowmines back at home, so he's going to be able to defend against anything moving up this ramp. And these Widowmines will soon be used offensively, as he does have a starport on the way for that medevac. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they do bypass the Stalker, they do get across the map, and they deny a lot of mining time. Second Stalker does rock up. The probes are forced off the line. Ooh, and the Reapers will barely escape. And it is not an Oracle first, it is going to be Phoenixes, so Phoenix production coming out from MaxPax, a great way to gain map control, to shut down drops as well. And he's going to need that because drops are soon to be on the way. Going to be a triple Widowmine drop. Medevac is about to come out. And Cure is going to be looking not just for economic damage, but bearing in mind that we know it's a Stargate opener, Cure doesn't. Not yet. You know, that's also the goal here of this mine drop, is to get a read on whether it's a Twilight Council, whether it's a Stargate, and even if it is a Stargate, if Oracles are coming out or Phoenixes instead. So Cure is still trying to piece this all together. Phoenix does come across the medevac. Very fortunate here for MaxPax. Coming across this, the Stalkers are coming in as well. Can we unload? We can! But can we get any shots off? Looks like we can only get one. 3 probes though, not too bad. As the Reapers, they do get into the main. The Reapers are hunting down probes left and right. 6 workers going down. It's not on cams, but I can tell you 7 probes. 8 with that Widowmine. The Reapers are still in the main, and they finally get cleaned up. But 8 workers, a good amount of damage done here. Especially because the Reapers, they run out of effectiveness over time. Like, as the game goes on, the Reaper falls off pretty hard. So to get additional worker kills this early on is just a great use of said Reaper. Also, of course, confirms the Stargate and additional Phoenix production. So Cure able to do a great amount of economic damage. Behind this, he's getting into Phoenixes. Sorry, he's getting into Cyclones. The Phoenixes have arrived. Do we have enough anti-air? We can repair. The Raven! Ooh, Raven does go down. A big pick-off. So even though MaxPax has lost a lot of workers, to snipe the Raven is a very high-value target. And now, MaxPax, he is safe to get into Colossus. Robotics Bay is on the way. Colossus on the horizon. So essentially, when you make a Raven here in this matchup, the goal here is to babysit it, keep it alive, preserve it, gather up energy, and when you go for your first push across the map with Stim, with your tanks, you can disable those Colossi, and you can sometimes even just straight up kill the Protoss player. But for the first Raven to be sniped like that, that's a big blow to Cure. He's making a second Raven, but again, his push, at this point, it's not going to be anywhere near as impactful as it otherwise should have been. So far so good by MaxPax. Able to recover from all those probe losses earlier. He's getting his third base. Safety Immortals coming out. Phoenixes, they're sharking around looking for a stray Marine. Maybe another Raven. Immortals on the way. Again, just one safety Immortal before we get into Colossi. And there we go. The first Colossus is on the way. There are some Protoss players that like going for Disruptors first instead of Colossus, but that's a really risky thing to do. It's you know, a risk that MaxPax doesn't need to take, so he's just going for the Colossi. As the Phoenixes are going to be sharking around, they do catch a group of Marines. Oh my god, every Marine goes down, as well as an SCV. Again, really good pickups here by MaxPax, slowing down the army. Now Cure is moving out, but he just lost 5 Marines. He lost 1 Raven earlier. Again, the wind has kind of been taken out of the sails here of Cure. He's still going to be hitting an upgrade timing, and he still wants to make use of it. I just don't know how successful this is going to be. He does have that second Raven, so potentially he can land a really solid disable, but he needs to babysit that Raven as best he can. Not just the Raven, but also the Medevacs. You can see here, MaxPax just looking to catch whatever he can. Even forcing a Stim would be ideal. As Cure is moving out, MaxPax in the midst of attempting to expand. Phoenixes, they're able to keep up. They do have eyes on the army. And Pylon will at least fall. We have a scan ahead of time to make sure that Cure isn't running into a Colossus. There we go. MaxPax, he throws down 2 more shield batteries. Getting ready for the assault. And Cure is looking to jump into the main. we go, medevac. So they are going to be focused down. One half full medevac goes down. And this is not really working out too well here for Cure. He has to back off. The Raven is going to go down. Gets 2 disables off on the Colossus, but that's not enough. At the same time, we do have a jump on the left-hand side, and that is doing damage. 5 probes go down. A pylon and a shield battery. The water mines up. Big mine shots. Oh god, I thought the probes came back too. The probes did come back too soon, but they do survive. Big shots on the Phoenixes. The Nexus itself almost goes down. MaxPax holds, but he did sustain some damage. And now Curie's gonna get the hell out of here. He's to unsiege and leave. Meanwhile, Curie, he's getting his own third base up and running. And the game will settle from here. But again, throughout all of this, MaxPax has been taking a lot of probe kills, or probe damage. And because of that, Cure actually has a worker lead. This is something that should not happen too often here in this matchup. Typically, the Protoss should be up at base and up in workers. Because of all the worker damage, though, that MaxPax has been sustaining, Cure is ahead. Cure is ahead economically, and that is reflected in the army supply as well. And here we go. The army is going to be moving out. The Prism does miss it. Likewise, the army misses the War Prism as well. Oh, and we have to make a choice. Does Cure turn back around? The answer is no. He wants the third base. And MaxPax turns around instead. This Nexus should go down. Overcharge is not going to be enough. And MaxPax, he is zoned away from his own fourth. At the same time, we have Zealot Rumba in the third base gets cleaned up. The fourth base of MaxPax does get cancelled. In the blink of an eye, MaxPax, he loses 2 bases. He's losing so many probes in the main as well. 15, 16 workers go down. The Zealot Rumba is causing a little bit of chaos here in the production line, but not doing any economic damage. It is not enough. MaxPax, he's being pulled apart. The army comes back in, and this third base is not going to get up and running. MaxPax, he's being forced all in. He's being forced all in. He has to make something happen. He recalls back home. Ay. He left some Archons out of the map. They get cleaned up. Zealot Rumba doing what it can. Getting some SCVs, to be fair. 13 work, 14. Oh my god. Those 2 Zealots, they're keeping MaxPax in this game. 18 SCVs. Initially, it was 9. And a very nice damage done here. That is going to help even things up. I would say that MaxPax is still clearly behind. MaxPax, he's still hurting. But he's able to fight back. Another Zealot Warp in into the main. The main army of MaxPax pushing through the center. Oh, but he is being spotted. Cure looking to engage. 23 workers are going down. And those Zealots are wreaking havoc in that main base. But there's so much bio on the ground. They take down the Archons. They want the Colossus. And they're going to get them. There's just not enough to protect them. And MaxPax, he's going to lose his entire army. And with the death of those Colossi, that may just be the end of the game. These Zealots are doing so much, though. 31 SCVs go down. It is not enough. GG gets called, and Cure takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Things are looking a little bit dire for Cure. Not going to lie. At the start of the game, things were not looking too hot for him. But eventually, he was able to pull apart his opponent. With his drop play, distracting MaxPax in the main base, sniping Nexi left and right. And MaxPax could not keep up. Oh. But that was only game 1. It's a best of 5. Plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty of opportunities for MaxPax to bring it all back as well. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he will. I don't expect this to be a 3-0. I would be very surprised if this was a 3-0 in either direction. Obviously, MaxPax, he can definitely go toe-to-toe with Cure. And I'm hoping we have a more back and forth. As our next game is on Gressma. Here we go. I'm catching up with the chat. Did MaxPax change his hairstyle? I think so. I think, yeah. He has pigtails. I do. It is very cute. It is very cute. I'm loving it. Look, I wasn't going to bring any attention to it, okay? I thought that MaxPax's new hairstyle spoke for itself, but, you know, some things, they deserve attention. Aye. Here we go. We are getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gress Farm, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And in the top left, the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Cure. And here we go. We're getting into our next game. We are hearing, of course, in the chat that there are maybe some stuttering issues. We will try to resolve them. We'll do our best. We'll do our best to fix any issues. But thanks for letting us know. Do appreciate it. As we are getting into our next game, and yeah, so far so good. Game one, I mean, it was a little bit more back and forth. Like MaxPax, he was finding some good pickoffs. If you remember, he sniped the Raven. He was able to chip away at some of the units as well and shut down the initial drop into his main. If you remember, like outside his main base at that Reaper Cliff. But it was afterwards where Cure was getting a bit out of hand, where his own economy was left untouched, and yeah, he eventually snowballed out of control. This time, though, as we get into game two, we do see that Cure is not going for a proxy Rax. He's going for a Rax Expand, a very economic opener here from our Terran player, going for one single gas geyser into that CC on the low ground. You don't see this too often, but I appreciate the confidence here in Cure to be able to go for something more economic, something more greedy. As we are going to be working through this. And behind this, of course, Cure working on his Rax, going for his factory as well. Again, everything's looking quite normal and standard from the side of Cure. Really, my eyes are on MaxPax. I was about to say that last game he went for a Stargate opener. That's not really his MO. He's not really known for his Phoenix Colossus play. And this is the MaxPax that we know and love. It's a Twilight Council opener from MaxPax. I can feel the blink on the horizon. Now, the question becomes, how committed is this going to be? Are we going to go for a 2-gate Blink Stalker opener into a faster third base? Are we going to go for 3-gate Blink Stalker for map control? Or are we going to go 4-gate Blink Stalker to be committed and to be in the face of the Terran? And maybe even kill the Terran? We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. As, of course, Blink is now on the way, it's as it should be. Charge openers aren't really a thing, and DT openers are wild. You do see them from time to time, but they're not really too common in this matchup. So far we have our first gateway. 2 gates are on the way, so 3 gates for the time being, and a Robo, so a 3-gate opener from MaxPax. Nothing too crazy. Never mind. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is a 4th gateway on the way. I think there's 2 gateways in the natural and 2 in the main. So MaxPax looking to be far more aggressive, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there we go. So 4-gate Blink Stalker from our Protoss player. This is what he's known for. This is what he loves. Do you have a medevac drop, though? We have a Widowmine drop heading towards the main, though. MaxPax does have Stalkers in position. Blink is not done yet, though. Hellion's also going to be threatening that natural. And Here we go. Looks like here he was able to bypass those stalkers, able to drop into the main base, able to keep one of those Widow Mines in that medevac. So far, only 3 Widow Mines go down, and it looks... Sorry, only 2 Widow Mines get picked off. And up! Kira trying to be a little bit fancy there. Does escape with 2 Widow Mines in the end. And now, MaxPax can be active on the map. The gateways are up and running. And he's moving on out. Cure, is he ready for this, though? Has he been able to get a read on how many gateways there are? Bunker is on the way. Tanks are on the way. I think he's gonna have 1 tank, and he's gonna need it here on the low ground. He may have to pull some SVs to repair as well. As MaxPax is looking to blink up into the main. Medevac drop does come back in. So far, good connections. 4 probes go down, but the blink into the main base does collapse on top of the tank. The first tank goes down. Big pick off. MaxPax is going to be taking down some of these depots as well. Massive warp in into the main. And Cure, he has to pull the boys. Even with the boys being pulled, this may just be too much. Second tank goes down. Some of these stalkers are getting low. The Marines are doing what they can as well. SV's doing as much damage as possible. Another tank will rock up. But again, there was no bunker in the main, and we are continuing to warp in stalkers, and this may just be too much. This may just snowball out of control. Sure, there's 1 tank covering the main base, but it's not enough to cover both bases at once. It looks like Cure was not able to get a read on how many gateways there were. And the natural base is to be broken. There are just too many stalkers. We blink on forward, we take down the last tank, and the Raven as well. The boys get us around. A lot of stalkers are going down. A surprising amount of stalkers. Look at how low they are, but now we get another warp in. Like, this still should just be too much. MaxPax should be able to maintain control of the low ground and snowball out of control. Stim is still on the way. MaxPax being forced out of the natural. But he makes his way into the main base. Oh my god, he wants the tank. He wants the tech lab as well. He wants it all. Oh, the bio army is getting quite large. Boys are being pulled once again, but you can see that Cure is just being pulled apart. Again, he wasn't ready for the first push. He was not taking it seriously enough, and yeah, MaxPax, he now contains Cure to 1 base. The power of 4 Gateling Stalkers. Ah, let's go. Behind this, MaxPax is getting a 3rd base on location. He's going for another warp in into the main. Cure does now have Stim, but even with Stim, against Blink Stalkers, it is not enough. Yeah, as MaxPax, he can just take the fight to Cure. He can camp the production. Get on top of the Raxes, get on top of the starports. Cure fighting his heart out, but at this point, it is a losing battle. And yeah, too many workers are going down. 29 SCVs in total. More than enough damage already. You can see MaxPax bleeding out a couple of stalkers here and there. But despite that, like, it's already too much. MaxPax, he's got double the worker counts. Double the army, almost double the army supply. He blinks onto the low ground. I believe he took down another tank. Like, he's still not done. Oh my god. As he's taking out even more workers, and Cure, he's holding on to hope, but there's only so much. And GG is going to get called. MaxPax with his 4-gate Blink Stalker does take game number 2. We have a series. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. We have a series. We're going to game 3. And this is what I said earlier. Like, I did not expect this to be one-sided. I did not expect this to be a 3-0 in either direction. And here in Game 2 on Gressvan, this is what MaxPax is known for. I mentioned at the very start of this series that MaxPax, he, I would say, has the best 4-gate Blink Stalker in the world. Like, he relies on it a lot, and for good reason, because he's able to find damage like this. He's able to snowball out of control, pick apart the tanks, the production, the workers, just, yeah, really good control. And Cure, unfortunately, wasn't able to... I'm pretty sure he did see all the gateways. He saw 2 gateways in the natural, and the drop in the main, I believe, should have seen the other 2 gateways as well, but he did not have a bunker in the main, and things can very quickly escalate. If you don't have enough to protect your first tank, if your first tank falls, then so will your second, so will your third. You know, bunkers go down at one after the other. Like, it's a very tight defense, especially early on for the Terran. And we see what happens if you're just a little bit unprepared for it. So, GG, well played. Ooh, MaxPax ties it up, and now we're getting into Ancient Cistern. Now, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a 4-gate Blink Stalker again this series. I don't think we're going to see it on Ancient Cistern, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do fall back on it a little bit later on in some of these other maps. So we'll see if Cure can adapt, and if Cure can recognize what's happening in time and have some better responses. Here we go. Until then, we are just going to be getting ready. Players just preparing for their next match as well. Am I crazy? Did Cure freeze? Did that just happen? All right, here we go. As we are getting into our next game, and in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Danish Protoss player for Coliseum Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Terran. Oh, hold on. I guess I'll just try to sync up here. I think I was a bit up further. There we go. We have a Cure. Beautiful. And as we can see, we do have a proxy coming out. Sorry, I think production is speeding up. Okay. So we do have a proxy 2x coming out from a Cure. And we'll see if MaxPax is going to be able to react in time. So Cure just ramping up the aggression here in our next game. Once things settle down, I'll try to sync up with the stream. Once they settle down, though. So we do have a proxy 2x. And yeah, we do see MaxPax going for a scout across the map. Once again, is going to be confirming... that we are going to be missing those Raxes at home. Not the first time this has happened this series. Should not be too much of a surprise to him, but we can see ourselves that it is so much more committed this time with, of course, Tech Labs on the way. And we are getting into Proxy Marauder. Here we go. Hold on. I'm just trying to sync up with production. Will be a moment. And yeah, here we go. We do see the proxy already upon us at this point. It's going to be laying siege upon the natural base. We do have a reaction here from MaxPax. Zelda's coming out. Shield batteries are being thrown down as well. Concussive shell is on the way. So far, so good for MaxPax. He's able to buy a little bit of time for the shield battery to finish, but we need a little bit more than that. As we do see, the shield batteries are now up. I mean, Concussive Shell is about to kick in, which will help here. A couple of boys are being pulled with this alongside those Marauders. Just to help buffer, just to help tank. The longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax. He may even throw down a third shield battery. A couple of boys are being pulled as well. Good target firing on the first Stalker, but MaxPax is holding. Does take down a Marauder. Third shield batteries on the way. And as this goes on, it feels like the wind has been taken out of the sails here of Cure. He's not getting anywhere near as much damage as he needed to. Oh my god, how is that? Well, a forced shield battery on the way and a second pylon. MaxPax is so prepared. And I don't think Cure can transition. I don't think it's possible. He takes down one of the shield batteries. There's still another shield battery behind this. The Marauder count is getting pretty high. But so far, good target firing from MaxPax. Takes down one of those weakened Marauders. Oh, two of them are oh so low. Overcharge was popped. And yes, Stalker after Stalker getting knocked down. The boys are being pulled because they have to be. Cure, he is Giga all in. There is no transition out of this. The boys are helping a little bit, but there are so many shield batteries. With all these shield batteries, I don't think we're going to be able to break this location. Boys are going down left and right, but workers, they don't matter at this point. It's all about the Stalkers. There are only 3 Stalkers left. Mate, there are only 3 Stalkers remaining. Can Cure get on top of them? God, those Marauders are oh so low. They're getting so weak as he does dive on top of the Stalkers, but Marauders going down one after the other. 4 Stalkers versus 4 Marauders. Oh my god. And it looks like with another overcharge, MaxPax is holding on. That's the 3rd overcharge of this all-in, by the way. That's how long this has been going. And yeah, Cure, you could argue as well, he was a little bit careless with some of his control as well. He's gritting his teeth a little bit. And it looks like MaxPax has held. He's got more than enough shield batteries, more than enough Stalkers. And Cure, he already pulled the boys once. Like, what else is there to do? What else is there left? Cure is getting a CC on location? No shot. That's some serious Terran copium. That's... Ay. CC on location for Cure. We have Stim on the way as well. There is no shot that any of this finishes. MaxPax behind this, he's just resaturating his bases. The only thing stopping MaxPax from moving out is the lack of blink. The scene, Papi? Oh, is the scene not on? Okay, so good. As, yeah, from here, MaxPax is just going to be throwing down a proxy pylon across the map. Twilight Council's on the way. I was saying earlier that the Twilight Council was the only thing keeping MaxPax at bay, because without Blink, he's going to have a harder time controlling against all these Marauders. We can see that Cure, he's hoping that maybe MaxPax overextends, and Cure, he can take a bit of a better fight here, but, oh god. He has no longevity with these Marauders. He has no medevacs to keep them sustained. And even without Blink, MaxPax, he can take a better fight. He's camping the production. Is Stim even going to finish? It looks like it will. Combat shields won't. But the add-ons are being shut down. And we can see that Cure is being forced all the way back home. He's going to be contained to one base. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the game. Will take the game and take a lead in this series. Cure trying to be cheeky, trying to go for a proxy 2 racks, but alas, alas, was not able to really work out here in the end. We saw MaxPax react and respond beautifully to it to be able to completely shut it down. And oh boy, yeah, from here, MaxPax, he is 1 game away from taking the entire series and moving on to the next round. Cure going to be resetting his camera. We saw some camera stuttering issues earlier, so hopefully they are going to be resolved. from the side of Cure. But yeah, just a really rough 2 games here in a row. Very short games as well. Of course, game 2, MaxPax just went for a proxy 4 gates, was able to kill Cure then and there. And here Proxy tried to turn the tables with proxy 2-Rax Marauder, and it did fall on its face. One more mistake and Cure, he's going to be knocked down to the lower bracket. One more game is all MaxPax needs. Ay. So yeah, it could all end here and now. Again, still not a 3-0 in either direction, but I could sense the frustrations of Cure in that last game. To be fair, he put himself in that position. Like, he was the one who opted to go for the proxy Raxes, and yeah, clearly did not work out. We have seen a lot of proxy Raxes from Clem as well, so MaxPax, he has plenty of practice against that. So very unfortunate for Cure. Personally, I would love for this series to go on a little bit longer, but it's up to me. It is up to the players. Oh boy. As a reminder, the winner of this series moves on to face Bjorn in the next round. The loser moves down to face the winner of Cyril and Dark. No one wants to be down there. No one wants to be in that lower bracket. Ay. But for now, we are going to be just getting ready for our next game. I'm unsure if we're going to be going on a short break. I don't know if they're trying to fix the technical issues with Cure or not. We're still a little bit in the dark as to that. Cyril and Dark. Yeah, both Cyril and Dark, they are down there. The lower bracket is insane. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We've had a lot of big names already eliminated in the lower brackets, like Raynor's already out of the tournament. Solar's out as well. And either Cyril or Dark, they will be eliminated as well. Again, the Zerg players had a really rough time in day 1. Like, they all fell in the first round. They all had a hard time against the Terrans in the quarterfinals. And as a result, all the Zergs are all killing each other. They're all fighting it out there, eliminating each other even. And yeah, we may even just go on a short break at this point, just because, again, it looks like they are just resolving some issues. So we'll be back soon, in a couple of seconds, in a couple of moments, for our next game. See you soon. And we are back. Cameras are back on as well. The issues have been resolved. And in the top right hand corner, we have MaxPax, one game away from advancing on to the upper bracket finals. And in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran, one game away from being knocked down to the lower brackets. It is Cure. Okay, here we go. So we've had a pretty dynamic series so far. Again, Cure was looking so solid in that first game, but since then has been stumbling a little bit. He has to take a bit of a breath, has to recover, has to reset, I think, mentally a little bit as we get into our next couple of games. Again, Cure, he tried to turn the tables after MaxPax 4-gate blink stalkered him on Gressvan, and it just did not work out at all. And you could see the frustrations there from Cure after that game. So hopefully he was able to take that moment to recover a little bit as we are getting ready for our next match, our next game on Royal Blood. So far, everything is back at home. Everything is looking normal. It is going to be a double gas opener from Cure, so a little bit more aggressive. Not as economic as we have seen before. With this, he's going to go for a faster factory. With this, he can get into faster mine production as well for that eventual drop play. And back across the map, MaxPax is able to scout this and confirm this for the most part. Of course, he doesn't make his way into the main, so for all he knows, it could be a Rax expand with the CC on the high ground. It is possible, but MaxPax, I'm sure, is slowly going to try to cross that out and figure out and piece together what his opponent's opener is going to be. As MaxPax is just going for a gate expand, Reaper does rock up, does confirm the expansion on the low ground, and Cure is going to back off from there. Ooh, MaxPax going for a proxy pylon, soon to be a proxy gateway as well. So MaxPax is going to be hyper aggressive here. He's already moving out with his first adept. We have a Stalker on the way. We're soon to have additional gateway units. The goal here for MaxPax, because Cure CC is delayed, because it was, a delayed expansion here from Cure, it may not finish. MaxPax, he's here to kill that SCV and make sure that this command center does not finish. Meanwhile, as the units move out, both Reapers get across the map, and now things are going to get really chaotic. MaxPax has nothing at home to defend. Probes are falling left and right, so even though Cure CC is delayed, he's killing so many workers here of MaxPax. Both players are hurting in their own ways. Tank does rock up back at home to defend. 6 probes go down. And Cure takes an economic lead, but this CC is still not done. You can see Cure, he's trying to get progression on this with that SCV. He's trying to get some build on it, some build timing on it. But alas, he cannot due to the gateways, due to the due to the Stalker and the Adept. There we go, 3 more Stalkers do arrive. We're not going to finish this. We're going to have to cancel. The tank! Tank is looking very exposed, but we do see a bait into tank range. Oh my god. Cure getting some big volleys off on MaxPax. MaxPax was baited in. And Cure is going to be able to finish his CC. That was close though. That was close. I do think that any lesser player may have just forced a cancel then and there. Behind this, ooh, a 2-on-1 setup. Oh my god. Cure. Okay, so this is very similar to Beyond. If you remember, we were casting Beyond versus Clem earlier, and Beyond was going for these 2-on-1 openers against Clem, which is very unorthodox in TvT. Likewise, it's unorthodox in TvP as well. We can see Cure is going to be building up a bio army. He's going to be working on a stim timing. A starport is going to be on the way momentarily after this engineering bay, I imagine. So starport should be on the way for Metamax for drop play. But I'm curious how, oh my god, how Cure is going to be able to piece this together as we do get some big tank volleys off once again on these Stalkers. MaxPax taking some big hits. Behind this is going into a Robo, going into a Bay, getting into Colossus eventually. Meanwhile, Cure, instead of going for a starport, he goes for a third Rax instead. So Cure, this is almost looking like a 2-base all-in. Like, he's building up a very large tank count, a very large marine count. He may even move out without Medivacs. Oh boy. Here we go. Upgrades are still on the horizon. Cure taking precautions. He does throw down a turret here at his natural. Raxes are finishing up. There it is. There is the starport. Ooh, and the Observer sees so much. The Observer confirms the Rax count. Now, with the arrival of this starport, we should be going for an add-on swap and getting into those medevacs. Once the medevacs arrive, we can now move out, or Cure should be moving out to go for his push. You can see MaxPax making his way into the main base. He sees everything in the main. All 3 Raxes, the factory, and the starport. So MaxPax is fully aware of what's going on. Meanwhile, Cure setting up the add-on swap for that reactor on the starport. And Cure is not going all in. He does throw down a third CC. So he is going to be expanding behind this after said push. I'm still really curious as to how this push is going to come together. As to how it's going to come together and how it's going to come forth. Here we go. The army is moving out. Now, there's going to be, I think there's one Colossus out, right? Soon to be a second Colossus. There's no Ravens with the push of Cure. More than anything, he's going to be looking to outposition his opponent, which is going to be a difficult thing to do because MaxPax has seen everything with this Observer. Yeah, Cure, he fakes a move out. And he's going to be relying on a double drop instead, but MaxPax is in position. Yeah, Observer does spot the 2 medevacs. Oh, Cure spots the Observer. Keen eyes from Cure. Meanwhile, the rest of his army is maneuvering over towards the left-hand side. Stalkers are waiting for him. Oh my god, there are now 3 Colossi out. And because that Cure, he cannot push through into that base, but he does sneak a double drop into the main. Stalkers are in position, though. They focus down the medevacs. How many workers can Cure get? He's focusing down individual probes. 8 probes in total. Gets on top of a Stalker, but he will eventually be cleaned up. Meanwhile, the main army is having a hard time gaining ground on the left-hand side. The Colossus are standing their ground. And Cure is trading surprisingly well. He's killed a lot of Zealots. But eventually, finally, he's getting cleaned up. Cure going for a double drop into the natural as well. Does MaxPax react in time? Looks like he will pull back. 13 probes in total. With those mines and the marine drop, of course, into the main. The main tank army of Cure did pull back. Didn't commit into those Colossi. But now it's MaxPax's turn. Like, Cure, he's far ahead at this point. Like, he dealt so much economic damage, and he kept his tanks alive as well. Can he keep up, though, with this push from MaxPax? Cure, he's pre-sieged. He's already sieged up at the 3rd base, but here we go. Colossi are going to be threatening a move out. As MaxPax moves out, he does expose his 4th base, and it is going to be cancelled. And you can see Cure just getting out of control. His macro has been insane this game. He does dive into the natural base. Widow Mines do cover his retreat. Ooh, big mine shot into the natural. 12 probes go down. And finally, the Colossus have been pulled out of position. Finally, the 3rd base is exposed. Not just the 3rd, but also the main. We have a drop into the main. We have a push towards the 3rd base. Can we focus down the Nexus? There's no shield battery. There is no overcharge. Nexus will fall. This is very reminiscent of game 1. Cure is pulling MaxPax apart. Like, Cure, get him in the mid game. Get Cure into the mid game, Poppy, and he can make some magic happen with his drop play, with his mass bio army. Double drop back into the main. The main Colossus army is being distracted. And Cure is really just showing his prowess here in the TVP matchup. And yeah, it's just too much. GG gets called. Things have just escalated so quickly, snowballed out of control, and Cure ties up the series 2-2. We're going to the ace match. We are going to game 5. Again, Cure showing us that, mate, get this man a third base. Just needs a third, and he is looking dominant. Before that, though, that's where MaxPax maybe thrives the most, right? We saw that in game 2 and game 3. In game 2, MaxPax with that 4 Gateling Stalker was just able to cripple and kill Cure then and there before he could really get going. And again, in game 3 was more on Cure, though. It was more on him just having a failed proxy. As we get into the ace match, as we get into altitude. Here we go. Oh. We are just... yeah, getting ready here. Of course, just syncing up as well. Should be good. Should be ready to get into game 5. Oh. And yeah, on a map like Altitude, things can get a little bit crazy. So this is the largest map in the map pool. It's big, it's huge, it's massive. It can lead to longer games as a result. I do think that Cure's multi-pronged aggressive style is more effective on a map like this just because it's so spread out and it takes so much longer to react to these drops. And here we go in the top right-hand corner. We have the Danish Protoss player. It is MaxPax, the Sidestorm Gaming. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the Red Terran, Cure from South Korea. Now, as the game progresses, again, if we get into the mid game, I do think that Cure has an advantage. I do think that, again, drop play can work really well on a map like this. But Cure may have other things in store as he's moving out with his first SCV. Okay. So Cure, he's got a Rax back at home. He may go for a proxy second Rax across the map. That is looking to be the case here. No, okay, he's just going in for a scout. I say a scout, going in for an eBay block. Let's go. Engineering base thrown down. So Cure, he did go the long way around specifically to get across the map to bypass the probe scout, and this is dire. Okay, so this eBay block is going to force the unnatural natural. This is going to force MaxPax to expand at a third base location. On this map specifically, like, the bases are already spread out. The bases are already spread out quite far. So for the main and natural to be likewise just split between these bases, Cure, he's gonna have quite a lot of freedom here to harass and to have his way with these mineral lines. There we go. MaxPax is forced to take his triangular third base as his natural. The way this works, if the engineering bay has too much progression on it, then you can't kill it, or it's just not worth it. You are just forced to expand elsewhere instead. So already a nice little win here for Cure. As behind this, he's going for a Rax expand. Did go for a Rax into factory first, then the expansion, which is what threw me off a little bit. I'm like, hey, he only has one gas geyser. True, but did delay his CC by a little bit here, just to be a little bit safer. Oh, Hellions already on the way. Okay. Now we don't have an SCV out on the map, so we're not going for like a proxy medevac with like with a Hellion drop. Regardless, Cure He's going to be backing up those Hellions. Is going to reveal his hand to MaxPax. MaxPax does get a delay on the CC, but now he's aware of the Hellion production. He's now aware that a multitude of Hellions are on the way, and he has to take a more defensive position, has to protect his mineral lines, both in his main and his natural. You can see the Adepts coming back, getting in position. Shield battery in the main. Oracle will help as well, as it is a Stargate opener from MaxPax. Oracle first, though, not a Phoenix. And Cure, once again, oh my god, he is going for 2 more Raxes behind this. It's a 3-1-1 setup, but with a big emphasis on those Raxes, on the Marine production. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they bypass the army. There is an Oracle waiting in the main base, and one of those Hellions is going to get shut down. So far, good positioning here from MaxPax. As he's able to completely shut down Cure. Behind this, Cure getting into his, again, 3-1-1 setup, working on his add-ons, going to be working on Stim, combat shields, all that good stuff. Of course, Cure is fully aware of the Stargate opener. Hellions are diving into that main base. There is a Phoenix here to help delay, to help slow things down. And these Hellions, they shouldn't get too much damage done. They get 2 workers, not much else. Again, they're trying to get some more damage done, but the shield battery does top everything else up. And the Hellions do get hunted down. Meanwhile, MaxPax is the beginnings of Phoenix Colossus. He's going for a safety immortal. Behind this, we should soon be seeing a robotics bay, and Colossus production should be commencing momentarily as well. Oh boy. Again, we have seen this before from MaxPax. Has been trying to get into a solid mid game. We'll see if he can get there. As Cure has been, his own economy has been left untouched. Working on Stim. Phoenixes are going to be delaying that starport for a moment. Good pickoff from MaxPax. As these Phoenixes give him a lot of map control, it's still difficult to actually hold on to map control here on altitude just because it's so large and it can be hard to keep up with the army movement of your opponent. So MaxPax, he has to be as active as possible. He has control of one of the Xel'Nagas. The Cyclones are going to force him back. There it is. First Colossus is in production. Extended Thermal Lance is on the way as well. MaxPax trying to get into that ideal army of Colossi and Phoenixes. Again, Colossus, they shut down fire pushes, and Phoenixes shut down drops. It's just a really solid composition. But it's not very mobile. Well, I mean, the Phoenixes are mobile, but the Colossus not so much. Ooh, big catch. Cure. Oh my god. Barely does not get the Phoenix. Just barely escapes. Cure is building up his forces again. This entire time, he has been vying for map control, trying to catch these Phoenixes out. While he's continuing Marauders and Marines. Stim is done at this point. Medevacs are on the way. And Cure is expanding. He's taking a 3rd CC behind this. Very reminiscent of the last game. You can see MaxPax just fanning out his army. The Adept does catch the force on the left-hand side. And MaxPax should be getting ready for it. Again, both players doing a great job at just fanning out their units, trying to wrangle for map, or trying to fight for that map control. Cure's going to rotate over towards the right-hand side. I believe he does have control of the Xel'Naga. As the Xel does spot the army. Cure scanning ahead of time, trying to get a read on the positioning of MaxPax. And actually, MaxPax had the Xel'Naga even, so yeah, he's in position. He's got his Colossi, got his Phoenixes. Second shield battery on the way. So the Phoenixes are outside the main base, looking to catch any kind of drop that goes into the main. Oh, that stasis trap is going to delay the space by quite a bit. Especially if it goes off. Oh. So thankfully, Curie is going to recognize, is going to notice. Hold up, why can't I land this? Oh, I see. And thankfully, the SCV is not under that CC. He's going to be able to land it on location. Curie, meanwhile, rotating around, focusing on his push. Oh, High Templar are out. Archons are on the way. Again, Curie this entire time has been trying to find a way in, trying to rotate between the third and the main, back and forth. But MaxPax has done such a great job at sending out an Adept or a Zealot here or there, or a Probe. Just catching the army, dancing with Curie, repositioning. Always there at every turn. And I do appreciate that Curie has been very respectful. He hasn't tried to force the issue. Here we go on the right-hand side. He does focus down. That's a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. 400 minerals down the drain. A good pick off on some of those Widow Mines. At the same time, on the left-hand side, Curie tries to push forward, but MaxPax was in position. Regardless, getting a kill on that Nexus is already like a solid pick off for Curie. The Prism moves out, I believe, is spotted by the Zolnaga. Maybe just barely out of range. As he is looking to harass across the map. Mine shot does go up on the Phoenixes. And MaxPax, he's more concerned with actually establishing this fourth base. Prism is coming into the natural. The ghost trying to get a snipe off on that War Prism. Doesn't quite get it. Here we go, MaxPax pushing back the army of Curie. At the same time, Curie, he wants a kill on that fourth base again. He wants it, but he will not get it. I love it. You can see Curie just being bullied back here, and MaxPax misses the army. Curie, he's able to bypass those Colossi. Going for a drop towards the fourth. And it looks like MaxPax, he has caught on. He's racing his opponent back home. Is forced to recall into the main. It looks like Curie wants to try to dive on the Colossus, but this is not going to work out. We have the overcharge. He wants that Colossus so bad, and it looks like he will get one. He gets both? No shot. Both Colossus goes down. He comes in on the right-hand side at the fourth base. Once again, there is no shield battery. There is no overcharge. He does back off. Regardless, the drop in the main has done so much damage. Workers and both Colossi. And every Phoenix. Oh my god. This has gotten out of hand. You can see Curie sharking around with his main army in the center of the map. He's looking for some more damage. He didn't get the fourth, but maybe he can get the third. And he's pushing on forward. Archons are going to deter him. As we do have a drop across the map, but reinforcements are ready and waiting. Viking is out as well. Some SCVs are falling. But for the most part, Curie is able to shut down the aggression of MaxPax. Yeah, he took down the Prism as well. MaxPax is rebuilding it. The main army of MaxPax is still pretty threatening, but there are a lot of ghosts. There are a lot of ghosts on the field. They're looking for those EMPs. Curie, I think he wants a fight. He's got plenty of Vikings as well. The main army of MaxPax is down to 2 Colossi, as opposed to what used to be 4. He doesn't have a second Robo. His Robo is being forced to spend build time here on the Prism. And I believe there aren't any Disruptors yet. There we go. First Disruptor is on the way. MaxPax being very active, but I feel like this is not the army he wants to really move out with. Oh, the Prism gets caught out! Ay, ay, ay. Prism goes down. Curie, he doesn't have to worry about a drop anymore. He can focus on his army. Second Robo now on the way from MaxPax. It is late, but the reason why the Robo is late is because his fourth was denied earlier. So he's making 2 more Robos, 3 in total, for triple disruptor production. We'll see if MaxPax can get there, as Cure is maxed. That disruptor's so exposed. Yeah, it's going to go down. Big EMP on the Archons. And we have plenty more EMPs available as well. As Cure is going to be forcing a big reaction here on the right-hand side. At the same time, he has a second army on the left. And he will deny the 5th. Does force a cancel. That is a lot of Archons, but all we need is a couple of good EMPs. The Robos have finished up, though. And now we can make 3 disruptors at a time. Right now, it's only 2, but we can make a 3rd. So MaxPax is keeping up. He may not have the best economy, but like supply-wise, he's there. Oof. Once again, EMPs do connect. Vikings have arrived. Here he's trying to break MaxPax here on 2 fronts, but here on the right-hand side, he cannot keep up. He's being forced back. Forced to pick up and leave. And MaxPax, he is gaining ground. Meanwhile, here on the left-hand side, big EMPs do connect once again with the Archons. Decent purification over, but the Colossus goes down. And again, Cure has just been trading more efficiently with 3-3 on the horizon, ship weapons as well. So eventually he can get into Liberators. Like, it does feel like MaxPax has been playing catch-up. And he's not even fully saturated on 4 bases. He hasn't taken his gases. To be fair, he doesn't need them right now, but... Again, if he takes a bad fight, then he's going to have a hard time remaxing. Up! He's not looking! He is not looking, and a massive Nova will connect with the Ghosts. Cure taking a big blow. And that may just be it. Like, MaxPax, he's gaining ground. He's got momentum. He's forcing Cure back on multiple fronts. He is gaining map control. Cure making 5 ghosts at a time to rebuild. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he's consolidating his army. Scan does reveal that. But it may be too late, as the base is going to have to be forfeit. Decent Nova will connect. Oh my god, massive connections here. MaxPax able to fight quite well, but outside of these Purification Novas, outside of these Disruptors, does he have anything else? The army is stimming on forward and taking down Disruptors one after another. Outside of Disruptors, there just wasn't anything left here in this army. So MaxPax does lose a lot in the retreat. He does get 17 SCVs. There we go. He's reinforcing with more Zealots. And here we go. Cure now finally making Liberators. Fusion Core just finished. We can get into Liberator range. MaxPax is making 3 Colossi at a time. But whether it's Colossus or Disruptors, Liberators, they are superior. They bring the freedom, papi. That's plus 2 ship weapons on the way. Liberator range. I think the first wave have just popped out. We have another 3 on the way. Here we go, MaxPax pushing through the center. Liberators have arrived, but they are looking very exposed. And the Libs are going to go down. At the same time, the Colossus do survive. MaxPax, he is gaining ground once again. Novas go off. Good connections, but across the map, the 5th base falls once again. Cure, he has so much supply to work with, and MaxPax is having a hard time keeping up. The production is under threat. Robos are going to be depowered. Yeah, Curie has to give up on his natural. But he takes down the 5th, and now he's on top of the 3rd. Oh my god. Big Widowmine shots. On those elves. Planetary is going to try to hold on, but MaxPax, he's looking for another base. He's going to get it. We're almost kind of going into base trade territory, but it's not going to be enough. GG gets called. MaxPax, he lost so many bases back at home, and Cure will take the series 3-2. GG. Get this man a 3rd. That's all he needs. GG, well played. Once again, MaxPax was being pulled apart. MaxPax, he had some strong overall main fights, especially towards the end, but we saw that he never really had a good economy. I don't know if you remember, I was mentioning it earlier. He was never on 4-base saturation. I think he cut workers at 65, and I don't think he ever really had more than 65 workers going for him. So he just never really had much of an economy. He didn't have a lot of longevity in this game. He was being forced pretty all in just because of how active Cure was. And GG, well played. Cure does advance on to face Bjorn in the upper bracket finals in a TvT. And with that, we're going to be moving to the lower bracket for now. For the rest of the evening, we have an elimination match. Up next, a ZVZ between Cyril and Dark. The winner moves on. The loser is eliminated from the tournament. See you guys soon.